Yeah, what's up, everybody? You're watching Rolling with Ramos. I'm your host, Anthony Ramos, and I thank you for tuning in. Yeah, swangin', swangin'. What's up? I'm here today with nothing but lovely ladies.
Woo!
Including Dick Spenneberg, my sound engineer. You're a lovely lady too, Dick. Thank you for being here and running all the buttons, huh? Well, we're coming to you live from Universal City Walk, and I want to get right into it because I've got a couple of wonderful guests that I'm going to introduce. Actually, right now, I guess. What the heck am I waiting for? To my left.
Life is short.
Right, I know, right? Two-time Emmy Award-winning actress. You can catch her on April 16th.
29th. What's wrong with
April
you?
9th, 29th. Sorry. When All My Children comes back to Hulu, please welcome Cady McLean. Hi, Cady.
Hi.
Thank you for coming.
Thank you, Anthony.
Of course. And sitting next to her, equally as lovely, and I'm sure equally as talented, the wonderful actress from Gilmore Girls. You've seen her most recently on Shameless, working with on something called Sharkbite, right? Also,
Yeah.
coming out, Miss Keiko Agena.
Yay!
Yay! So I'm gonna get into my shout-outs, which I forgot to bring with me, so I got to try and do them from memory. It's so funny.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, I know, right? Go ahead, do the shout-out music. Let's see how that works at 60%.
Shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
Shout-outs. Shout-outs.
Those are all my illegitimate kids. I record them every time I go and see their moms.
Oh my God. Nice. No.
I'm
Them
just
with the
kidding.
sharks.
All they do is yell. My first shout out, actually, I can't remember his name. Darn it. I wanted to talk about this guy. There's a gentleman, a famous dietary doctor, author. He put out a book where he's telling everybody that apparently bacon and butter and ice cream are actually good for you. Yeah, so they're not. Yeah, bacon.
Maybe you
apparently.
can't remember his name because he's not around anymore. He's
died.
passed on to a better world where that fact is true.
Heart disease got him on Monday.
I swear, he searches out articles that prove wrong every other thing that's out there.
That
He
is.
found an article that tells you that eating gluten is good for you.
No, bad for you.
No.
Oh, right. Gluten-free diet.
If you don't have celiac
If you don't have
disease.
celiac disease, is actually not a very healthy diet. Did you know that? I have friends who are like, I'm going to go gluten-free. I'm
Yeah, I
like,
know
do
a lot
you
of
need to
people.
go? No, I just don't want to eat gluten. Apparently, it's not only more expensive to find these gluten-free products, but it's become so commonplace. The article was written by somebody that has celiac disease, and they're, I guess, tired of people who don't need that kind of dietary restriction. It's become so commonplace that now when she goes to buy her gluten-free, like muffins or pastries or things like that, they're kept in the same case as stuff that's not gluten-free.
Oh.
So there's like cross-contamination between, just little crumbs and stuff, and so that affects her adversely. Plus, she thinks it's a pain in the butt to have to buy $10 loaves of bread because they're gluten-free from wherever she gets them. She doesn't understand why somebody would purposely go out of their way to try and a gluten-free diet. I guess a lot of products have a lot more fat in them because that like holds bread and stuff together rather than the gluten.
She probably just wants to hoard all the
Is that what it-
gluten-free stuff.
She found some really good gluten-free item.
Eating my gluten stuff.
And stay away from the chocolate chip cookies from Sprouts.
We're making her
You bastards. So there was that. And then there's also shout out to the Bill Gates Foundation for something very strange, actually. They've actually gone, and they're, for anybody that can develop a new condom, they're going to win this grant for $100,000. The stipulation.
joke.
That's what I thought. I read the whole article twice. Apparently,
Not an Onion article?
No, it wasn't. If you can come up with the Bill Gates
no pun
Foundation is come up with a condom that men won't complain about wearing, you win a $100,000 grant from the.
Wow, that
Right?
seems like a tough order. No, I mean that
That's
would be
inter-
worth
right?
$100,000.
I'm willing to fake the funk, take it out of a package, just put it on, and not complain about it. Like, where's my $100,000? I got it on now. I'm not complaining about nothing.
Exactly.
Cough up the money. I did it.
Exactly.
I'm a
I want
genius.
to watch the trials of that. We were trying out this condom, and
Exactly.
Gee, I don't know.
The clinical testing.
yeah, I like the way that felt. But
They could do like those weird videos that they show sometimes of when women go in and get waxed, but they just show the face. You know what I mean? Like the expression. So the guy's like, no problem. You put one on, and he's like, oh.
didn't like that one. Oh, didn't like that one.
You just
Too
hear a
small.
snapping sound like somebody putting a shower cap on. Oh, that one's not good. It's going to leave a mark. And then my final shout out actually is actually a really good, heartwarming story I read. Shout out to and I'm trying to get this from memory, the Illinois Children's Museum in association with the Anne Frank Association in the United States of America. They've taken 11 saplings from the tree that was actually outside the house where Anne Frank and her family hid for 25 months. There's literary comments in it in her diary and stuff. She talks about this chestnut tree that was her only little bit of nature that she was able to see from where she was hiding for all those years. They've gotten 11 saplings. They're growing them into trees, and they're going to distribute them around the U.S. to different places, like 9/11, I believe, the park there. Wow. They're going to plant one of the trees there.
Wow. That's lovely.
Other Holocaust remembrance places and playgrounds and some schoolyards, I think, that won through a certain process.
That's so touching.
That's awesome, right?
Yeah.
That the chestnut tree that inspired her, that helped her and her family sort of maintain, is going to live on. I gotta
Spread
go.
its seeds.
I know, right? That's actually kind of remarkable. It's the one thing that, you hear things in the U.S. and you're like, oh, I gotta go check that out from wherever that's gonna be.
Yeah, that story could be the condom winning.
Right? Exactly. That's much
There's
better.
A new condom,
right? Bill Gates. You're worried about the wrong stuff, I think. So those are my shout outs. One last shout out to former guests Natalie Lander and Brittany Ross. Those are the cheerleaders that are on ABC's The Middle. They're doing some Craigslist monologues this weekend or tonight.
It's at 8 p.m. at M Bar.
Tonight, 8 p.m. at M Bar. Stories of misconnections, casual encounters, and a bunch of free stuff. All the proceeds benefit the Aviva Family Center. The number to the Aviva Family Center, if you're interested, is 323-856-0036. Doors open at 7, so check that out if you're in the area.
What's a
at M Bar.
Craigslist monologue?
That's go ahead, tell me.
I'm not 100% sure, but I think that they've written a show using actual Craigslist misconnections.
Oh,
so
and what would that be? Would that be like somebody saying,
have you never read those, just bored in the middle of the
No.
night? They're hilarious. It's like, I saw you at Starbucks today and we gave each other the eye.
So instead of going on Craigslist to find a TV or a car or a gig or something,
looking for a
there's
hookup.
there's personal ads there. And if you saw somebody you thought was cute or whatever, you put it on Craigslist like, oh, I missed you.
Are you reading Craigslist tonight?
I don't.
9 a.m. Wow. And would you really want to hook up with somebody who is reading Craigslist personal?
I want to know how do you get that easily distracted? Or you're on Craigslist obviously for either a job or to find yourself a cheap couch.
Yeah.
How do you get so distracted that you're like, I was in Starbucks today. Maybe that guy was talking about. Oh no, he's talking about a girl. Okay, that was.
Hey, I think we're all supposed to believe that there's so much fate in the world that the right people are supposed to check the misconnections that go with the people that posted them. I don't know.
See, there's a lot of people who are still looking for bargains in the
in the love department now too.
Exactly, yeah.
Like a couch for $60, and this guy will buy me dinner.
Yeah. Oh my God. That's messed up.
That is sweet. And one last shout out, I guess, to me. Every week I shout out myself. Those of you that have been listening know that I'm a disabled comedian. I have CMT. Basically, it weakens my legs and my arms and hands. And every week I don't fall, I give myself a little shout out. So, yay, shout out to me for not falling.
Yay,
Suck it, CMT. I win this week. It's like a game of Battleship. We never know who's going to win from week to week. Cool. Let's get to our guests. We get to talk about all their stuff.
Yay.
That was a little forced, Cady. Cady was like, yay.
I was still on the CMT and thinking about that Pepsi you were drinking or whatever that was. I was maybe you need the gluten-free, right? Because it's a big deal, right? Eating healthy is supposed to really help your health and all that jazz.
And that's what they tell me.
Yeah. There's a book I'm reading now called Feed Your Skin by Dr. Jessica Wu, right? And one of the main, motivators for me to eat healthy is just vanity.
Right.
So just
well,
imagine.
it's working. You look beautiful.
I know, huh? I'm jealous. Everybody else is jealous. I'm looking at all the other podcasts. They got a bunch of ugly dudes on their show. Your guests are ugly. No? Was that not the attitude?
You're getting the eye right now.
But the attitude I should take?
Your woman's like, what? You better shut up.
I didn't realize the podcast were having beauty contests.
We are now. I'm going to win.
He's like, I'm going to get off this eating healthy topic if it's the last thing I do.
Let's talk about bacon. Bacon is delicious.
Back to bacon.
I had to tell him a couple weeks ago, your shout-outs can't all be about food.
They weren't. I just had a key food shout-out every week. It's not my fault this news comes up. Like last week, there was a bacon taco.
Really?
Yeah.
The shell was made out of bacon.
Oh. Well.
Yeah, see? See? Yeah, but I'm the asshole.
Everything's better with bacon.
Exactly. Well, so tell us about, Cady, tell us about All My Children with what's going on. I know that you can't reveal secrets and stuff, but is there anything you can talk about as far as excited to be back, obviously?
I'm very excited to be back. I mean, this is a really big deal. This is
huge.
like when soaps were on the radio and they went to TV.
Mm-hmm.
Now soaps have been on television and they're going to the internet.
Right.
And as we were all talking about before, more and more people are moving away from cable and watching all of their programming on the internet. Keiko was just talking about that herself, watching more stuff on Netflix. And
we were all saying, I mean, I have Netflix and Hulu, and I haven't had cable for a really long time.
As have I.
Right.
Yeah.
It's literally been years.
I don't even know.
Really?
I mean, we got to a point where we were watching everything recorded anyway.
Right.
It's like we wouldn't be home or we wouldn't be watching television during the time when our shows are on.
Right.
And you end up watching a recorded version of something at 2 or 3 in the morning anyway when I, as a comic, finally get around to watching stuff on television. So it seems silly to not just have Netflix or Hulu, right?
Yeah, and you can, and it's gotten so expensive. Cable is like crazy expensive. I know some people are like, oh, it's still digital through the air, but like, not really. You still have to buy a device and watching stuff on the internet. I mean, like what? Netflix is like $7 a month.
Yeah, like $8 a month or something.
And if you get Hulu Plus, it's about the same.
Right.
And,
so rather than I used to pay $200+ a month for all the tiers on my cable and for internet and phone, and now there's the cost is a small percentage of that because there's just no need.
It's so much cheaper.
Yeah.
And if you really love a show, like I love Treme, you can buy it and you can have it and watch it.
Yeah, that's the thing now too. Yeah, you can just buy stuff off iTunes.
Yeah.
And any amount of money that you would spend on television or movie that you would watch is probably a lot less than you would spend on average for your monthly cable bill.
Absolutely. Once you like stack up all the stuff and then you get to keep it.
Yeah.
Right?
The manufacturers make it easy though. You've got cable ready, internet ready televisions.
Well, that's another huge deal.
Like wireless this and wireless that.
Yeah. I mean, it's all the TVs. You want to go buy TV like in the next year or two, they're all switching to smart TVs. Because, they realize this is coming and there is no stopping it. It's a major revolution. It's like when the music industry, everything, you were like, oh, look at my fabulous CD collection. And somebody back there was going,
right. Pulls out a portable disc drive with like 10 times the amount of music on it. They're all check this out.
Check out my MP3 player.
Right,
and I think it makes it easier to be addicted to shows too, because I'll just go on a Netflix run. Yes. You'll start at episode 1 and just stay there for 2 weeks straight.
Right.
Yeah.
Burn through 4 seasons. You're like, I did it.
Yeah.
I watched the entire Shield.
We did that at Christmas last year. We watched the entire Game of Thrones, like
the whole season,
like 16 hours or something of programming. But my sister and I were enthralled. And my poor boyfriend was like, "Okay, what are we doing?" We're like, "Game of Thrones."
The trend, I think, is also with ADD and ADHD being what it is, and that generation has now grown up and they're in the workplace. I think that instant gratification on our phones and on our computers and stuff. It's people want it when they want it. It really is. I mean, there's we've talked actually how that's shaped the entertainment business.
Yeah.
Like there's never going to be, as a comedian, I honestly believe there's never going to be another type of comedian who's never going to be like another Richard Pryor or an Eddie Murphy, where they work really hard in the clubs and they put out a couple of specials and then they do that HBO special and then they do The Road, or they try and sell out Madison Square Garden. I mean, there's still people out there doing shows and putting out HBO specials, but it's no longer one of the 10 networks that you can find that type of stuff. Now, like you said, on the internet, there's 1,000 different places to go for the kind of material that you want to see. Whether it's
you know who I love? I love Bill Maher. I'm sure you love Bill Maher. Who doesn't love Bill Maher? But I'm so impressed the way he's really caught the whole I don't know, the new world of media. I mean, he's got his show on HBO, right, which is subscription. Then you can watch Overtime online. So if you're an online person, you can watch pretty much, a great show. Or if you can't afford to go to either one, he'll come to you. I mean, he travels all the time. He's constantly touring. And I just find that kind of accessibility and his effort to really, connect with people really impressive. I'd much rather watch him than the nightly news.
Yeah, another actor,
we watch Jon Stewart every day.
Oh, Jon Stewart is...
Daily News is the best.
I get way too much news. Yeah. My news from Jon Stewart. I'm sorry, I am one of those people.
Yeah, me too. Yeah. I am though too. I need to be entertained even in my news, because it does. He'll tell a joke and you're like, wait, did that really happen? You'll You'll Google something like, oh my God, there's something really going on in the world that he just sort of told me about. Yeah. That's great stuff.
So all my children going to the internet is, as it's a really, really big deal. It's
groundbreaking.
Yeah, it's like a show that was totally associated with a network and with broadcast TV going bye-bye and showing up somewhere else.
It was also one of those shows that it didn't go away and then come back sort of on its own. The fans clamored for it.
My God.
One of the few times where a show where the production company or the channel is like, no, we're just not going to do this anymore. And the fans are like, oh hell, you are. Yes, you are.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Are amazing. They are amazing. They demanded it back, and it was a big part of it. And Prospect Park is amazing. I mean, Jeff Quatnitz and Rich Frank have. I mean, they're really visionaries.
Yes.
They're not only just bringing back the show. They are bringing back a modern show. And one of the things that we all talk about is that there's no standards and practices on the internet.
Right, there are. It's weird, huh?
Thought about that.
Anything goes.
That's true. You're
FCC
free.
is pissed.
Oh yeah, they're like,
Damn it!
we can't control you.
We have no power.
This was the World Wide Web, and we have no power.
So are you? Oh, go ahead.
Do you think the show is going to change a lot because of that? Are you going to be? Oh, she's nodding her head. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it has changed. It's still, that's the cool thing, because Agnes Nixon, who created the show, is still like the guiding force behind all the stories
really
and
cool.
everything.
Oh, wow, that's amazing.
Yeah, so it's got her, if it has her stamp of approval, she believes it is, it is true to the core of what she believes All My Children
So
is.
do you think that these storylines are going to evolve in the same way that regular television has now? I mean, with the expansion of dirty language, I don't mean like getting vulgar or anything, but there's some hells, some dams, and some assholes thrown in here or there on regular television nowadays. And
I think I can
subject matter
fairly
gets-
say that it is quite progressive.
nice.
It is quite progressive.
They've got plenty of us cussing after the scene's over. So
I got to see just a few clips. We went to this Blistum, this really great blog conference for women who blog, and they showed some clips which I hadn't seen before, and I have to say my jaw was dropping.
Wonderful.
Because it was like the show, but it was like
a little bit more intense.
What did that just happen?
That's wonderful. That you've been involved with the show for so long that they can do that.
I
with
know.
Some of the story
They
arcs.
got me going like,
That's
so
great.
that was great. That was exciting, and I'm very there are a lot of young actors on the show, new young people who are really talented, and
Sarah keeps telling me, they recast JR.
Oh yeah, you're gonna love him though. He's cute, droolingly gorgeous. Cute. That's my son you're talking
My
about.
husband's in the room.
He didn't care.
Go ahead.
I'm doing right here on this table.
Wow. Whoa. Take that, FCC.
Hi, Mom.
If I wasn't his mother, I would feel the same way. But he's also a wonderful actor, of course. I have to say that, and very talented, very experienced actor. And we're very, very lucky to have him as well as a bunch of the other people on the show. And I love that that's still a tradition. Like a lot of times, I'm sure you've experienced this, Keiko. That you feel like a show is, it's all about the young people, and that can kind of either be a good thing or a bad thing, and it's either catering to them or and by catering to them, sometimes it feels like it's losing the authenticity of the show in a way, and like not letting them be real, or it can. Like Gilmore Girls was a great combination, I think, of like having a young storyline and a mom storyline, and like melding them, because
I agree.
And that's, I think, what All My Children is trying to do is to have that meld of generations, because that's really where we really serve an audience, and like connecting people, about what's happening now in our lives, and talking about sort of social issues. You need to talk about them with your family.
Right,
that's
of
like
course.
the whole point, or your
It's called All My
community.
Children.
Yeah, All My Children. And of course, I'm all there. It's not all my moms. Yeah.
But I think that's also what's interesting is that because you are able to show the different generations, and you can have that dynamic. And if you don't cater to just one side, then it's an interesting three-dimensional dynamic, and you're not just it doesn't flatten it all out, and that's more interesting for everybody.
I think so,
not just
too.
I think so.
Yeah,
Well, I'm glad you
totally.
brought that up, Cady. So, Keiko, what was that like being a part of a show that had such a broad fan base? I mean, somebody from my Sarah was the one who was actually a fan of the show, and she would put it on, and I'd be like, oh, I don't care, watch whatever you want. And I became a fan of the show because of the writing. I called it actually Quippy Hollow, because everybody, I would be writing something or looking on the computer, and I would hear the dialogue and I would laugh. And she's like, "You're laughing at Gilmore Girls? Huh? I thought you didn't like Gilmore Girls. Why are you laughing at Gilmore Girls?" And then we'd have conversations like, "Oh, there's no way everybody in that town is this witty. There's no way." And here you'll sit and watch them and laugh for an hour. But if we go to a family party and I get anywhere near that quippy with anybody, I get like pinched in the arm, like, "Stop making fun of people." Like, so what? I'm Kurt. I'm the guy from the grocery store that's got negative stuff to say, but in a very funny way. So that's why I called it Quippy Hollow, because just everybody, there would be like a storyline, and they'd be walking down the street, like maybe you and Lorelai are walking down the street arguing about something, and then you just barely walk past anybody that gets a little snippet of information that's going on, and then they have the most funny, little bit of input to toss in, and then they walk off, and I was like, There's just no way. I know lots of talented people, and they aren't even this funny. Like,
Yeah, we don't quip very much at All My Children. We cry. We cry and slap people. Yeah.
So again,
like
I got
walking into the room and be like, I'm in All My Children land. Like, I'm going to slap you. You know what I mean? I'm going to cry.
just for no reason. Where's lunch?
And then we're going to make love.
Were you a fan of the movie Soap Dish?
Oh my
That was so
God.
funny.
I've never talked to anybody who was involved in soap operas about that movie.
Well, the first time that I watched it, I was really, trying to be a serious actor, and I was like, that's the genre I'm working in? That's what I'm killing myself, trying to be Meryl Streep of, like, daytime television, But then, like, as I kind of got older and, like, loosened up a little bit, I started quoting the movie, I
Really?
was like, oh, yeah.
That's funny.
Because the more extravagant side of the genre of soaps is really kind of funny if you can kind of grasp it, and Soap Dish captures it perfectly. It really does.
Your youth and innocence when you first came on the show is very similar to Elizabeth Shue coming on the show.
Yes, I could relate to her.
Very funny.
Yeah. And what's her name? Sally Field is kind of is pulling a Susan Lucci.
Yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, and she was hilarious in it. I mean, just so great. And we shot right near there, too.
It's funny.
The old All My Children was on 66th and Columbus, right there by Lincoln Center. So all of those scenes, I was like, I was there.
They're making fun of me
How
right
do they
now.
know? Why don't I have an Emmy? Why don't I have 20 Emmys? You know what I mean?
Hilarious.
Actually, somebody once said to me, they think they should rename Nameless. It was the wife of an actor who wasn't nominated for an Emmy that year, yet he had 8 Emmys already. And his wife turned to me at the Emmys and said, he was really hoping for a 9th.
Wow.
Aren't we all?
Like,
Tough life.
Yeah.
Real tough.
But really, I mean, if you think about it, that's really unsymmetrical. Like,
I
9.
Then you just like hang out at 9
Right.
until
Where do you
get
put the
10.
9th one?
You wear it like it's bling. You know what I mean?
Put it in the spare bathroom. Where do you put it? With a little light.
I'm sure you watched when Susan Lucci hosted SNL a million years ago.
Oh, she was brilliant.
When everyone in the back, before she'd won her Emmy, they were like eating corn with 2 Emmys and stuff like that.
It's like, yeah. Came out in the corn pokers were there. Hey, what's going on?
That's great. My favorite was all my luggage. Like, what have you done with my luggage?
Very funny bit.
Yeah, she's great.
So I cut you off, Keiko. What?
I think I did.
No, not a problem. So tell us a little bit about working on Gilmore Girls. Was that your first major role?
Yeah. Getting on Gilmore Girls was I had just done a little bit of a recurring role on Felicity. And
she knows.
She almost finished my sentence.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. And I tell people I think that's probably the only reason why I got on Gilmore Girls. I think because I was relaxed. Do you know that feeling where you're happy? You're kind of like, oh, it could happen, it could not happen. And I think that because you have that energy, then you go in the room and you're relaxed and.
They pick up on that immediately rather than the tenseness.
Probably. Yeah, because I know Alexis Bledel told me that she went in and she had a cold. So I think she said, so are we going to do this or what? Are we doing the talking thing? And I guess she was so blasé about the whole thing and just wanted to get in and out. And apparently that completely won them over. And she came in and she played Rory. For people who don't know, she played Rory, the daughter lead on Gilmore Girls. Yeah,
That's amazing.
Doing the show was beyond. It was so I was so excited to read the script.
Mm-hmm.
Well, actually, one of my favorite things while we were filming was just to do the table read because we don't all film together. That was the only time that I could sit at the table with all of the other actors.
I can relate. Yeah. I've done a little bit of acting. I love table reads.
It's sometimes it's the best part because you can be there when before anything has happened and hear those people do their line and it cracks you up.
Yeah.
And it's completely enjoyable.
You can sometimes blurt out stuff and interject and no, it's a lot of fun. I've actually been called into when I worked on a sitcom on BET. I would show up because my friends were on, even weeks I wasn't on in the script. But then at the table read, I'd crack a few jokes, and the director's like, "Oh, that's it. You're in this scene." So I'm like, "Oh, cool. I worked for this week. Like, where's the script manager? I need to sign in." Like, so that was always fun. I can relate. Like the table read and goofing around is a lot of the fun. I think that you were also credited in an article with getting the role because you were capable of so quickly and literally getting out the writing. Like some of the dialogue is very wordy, but because you're able to get it out quickly and you had a nice cadence, I think that one I read somewhere that went a long way to getting you the role.
Well, I don't know about that because I do remember that
false writing. What? I read it on the
It's the
internet.
same person that wrote that article about gluten.
Or the bacon man. Was it the bacon man that gave you that information?
Could be.
Well, because I do remember that is possibly what they thought. I don't know, but I do remember the first time we did the walk and talk. Because Amy Sherman-Palladino, who was the executive producer, would write so many pages per episode that we needed to talk that much in order to not edit. I'm guessing. The secret is out. And so I remember the very first day of shooting anything was Alexis and I doing our walk and talk that we ended up doing in Gilmore Girls forever.
Yeah.
And it would be, that was great. Can you do it again? Just faster, much faster. And we did, I remember, I don't know how many times we did that, and we didn't understand, but the Gilmore Girls pace, quote unquote. I'm doing all these quotes. Nobody can see these quotes. And I'm
Sure they can. It's video.
Quotes. Yeah. Oh, okay. Sorry for the people who are doing. But the difference between Gilmore Girls pace at the beginning and what it was, as the years progressed, was completely different. Because we both, I think Alexis and I we talked about it sometime. We watched the pilot and going, oh my God, it's so slow. We thought we were just talking as fast as we possibly could physically talk. But it was nothing compared to what the energy of the show ended and the style of the show kind of.
So they were trying to fit like
I think so.
30-page scripts into 22 minutes instead of the minute per page average that they.
Yeah, way more because I think Gilmore Girls scripts are over 100. Well, it's an hour show and they were over 100 pages always. So.
Wow.
Crazy, huh?
That is crazy. Wow. On average, they were all over 100 pages?
I think so.
For those of you listening that don't know.
They never got Lorelai and Luke married.
In all of those words, I mean, you think one of those would be I do.
The reason that we're like, wow, we can't believe, for those of you that don't know, like the industry standard is pretty much like a page a minute. When you're writing dialogue, that's what you kind of shoot for. If you're doing a half hour, you want to get like a 25-page script max to kind of fit in. So the fact that you're running 44 minutes, but you guys have over 100-page script, that's more than twice the industry average. That's
impressive.
Incredible. Yeah. And like I said, the way you guys delivered the writing was really, really impressive. Like I said, I went into watching the show as just something that was in the background while Sarah watched it. To me, like, oh yeah, what's going on? And I would say characters' names, and she would, tease me, give me a hard time about like, not liking the show. So it's just very funny.
Scandal is like that too. Oh my gosh,
I love that show.
Fast on that show, not
which
through the
you
whole
were
show,
on
but
in the fall for an episode
for a little bit, and I was like, oh my God, you're not kidding around with this thing. It's no joke.
There's still a little bit of that chemistry that has been brought to. She watches Bunheads now.
Oh yeah. I like Bunheads.
There's a little bit of the quippiness from obviously because it's the same producer and creator and writer and stuff, but it's there's some shades of that in there, especially with the mom and
that's Kelly Bishop.
Bishop.
Yeah.
Speaking of Bunheads, there have been quite a few Gilmore Girl cast members who have come on Bunheads. Any news for when you're going to come on Bunheads for at least an episode?
I don't know. I'd love to. I actually had lunch with Helen Pye, who my character is based off of. She's a producer on Bunheads now, and we were just talking. And she's
from the original Gilmore Girls, right?
Yeah, right.
Sarah clued me into that's who your character was actually based on.
Yeah,
she's good. She knows a lot.
She knows her stuff.
Genius.
I know how to read and stuff.
It's awesome.
I'm sorry, you were saying you were talking with her about.
Yeah, and we were just saying that, she was just saying it would be great to have you on the show and stuff like that. So I don't know.
There's plenty of room for you there. Like, you could do something.
Right?
Yeah.
For sure.
What would you want to come on as?
Do I have to slap on some tights?
Well, probably. I think that's
I don't think I'm going to.
The prereq, I think that. No, not even with the cute little skirt. And can come out. No. Be
They
like
don't
a
even
former.
wear those skirts anymore. The little
Yeah, I don't think they
tutus so much.
They do run
they're
through.
little. I think they wear tutus. I think that they were more like dance skirts when they get older.
It's weird how little girls and old hairy men all wear tutus.
What they should do is have
nothing in between.
Lane's band play for them while they dance.
Oh,
Bring back some. Yeah,
that'd be great.
Bring back the guy that's on True Blood that your character married.
Yeah, right.
And and I don't think what's his name's doing anything. Sebastian Bach, I don't think is doing anything at the moment. He was on the show for a while. Did you know that? Sebastian Bach's a real live rocker.
Sebastian Bach.
Yeah.
And he was on the show for a while.
He was in her band.
He played a very funny character. What is he like in real life? Is he
so much?
He doesn't seem like the crazy rocker type, but he seems fun.
He is a sweetheart. I know he did this other reality show afterwards that just made him look crazy. And, I mean, he's a little crazy, of course.
Coming from the music business, you have to be, of
crazy.
course.
But he's such a sweetheart, and like that whole like wide-eyed thing is him. Like he has energy and enthusiasm.
I was going to say that level of energy. That's all him. Wow.
He walks into the room, the makeup room on the trailer in the morning, singing at the top of his lines and stuff. Oh.
Good.
Yeah, bring back some memories, right?
Yeah, sounds like old school rock and roll.
Yeah, definitely. Like I said, he was part of the hair band.
Kind of a Journey sound a little bit, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, we do have to take a couple-minute break here. It's a later break than normal, but we'll be back in just a couple of minutes.
Yeah, we will take a quick break, and then we'll come back with both Cady and Keiko and Sarah. Thanks for listening.
Hey, this is Dangerous Dick. That's Darren Carter. Check out our podcast here on the GoCast Network. Over 185 shows so far, and we're kicking ass.
Wow, I like my women like I like my
Basketball.
bouncing around and passed around by black dudes. I don't know.
Check us out every week here on the GoCast Network, the Dick and Darren Comedy Podcast.
All right, I am Ben Morrison, and
Greg Wilson.
Here to talk to you about our hit podcast, A Jew and a Mexican, an oral history of a couple of idiots. The way A Jew and a Mexican works is every week, Wilson and I pick a different topic, a different theme, a different idea, and tell our often heartbreakingly true stories.
And hilarious.
On said topic.
That's right. It's sort of like This American Life on acid.
Actually, there's a really good story about acid on the drugs episode.
Yeah. And you get to try and figure out which one of us is the Jew.
And which one of us is the Mexican.
We're not telling.
It's a mystery even to us. So catch Jew and a Mexican every week on the GoCast Network, Wednesday. Fuck.
Damn it!
A Jew and a Mexican, Tuesdays, 3 p.m. Pacific Time, GoCastNetwork.com.
Yeah!
Hey, this is Gary Busey. Not sure where I am right now, but I know that I'm listening to the interview with Fraser Smith on the GoCast Network.
Stay, this be just for today.
Yeah. Listen to this for a second. This is some good music from Shin Kawasaki of the Flying Platforms. This is like, I think, my favorite track.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh, I love
And he
it.
obviously still has a small accent, right? That comes through a little bit in his singing.
yeah.
I dig it. I dig the fact that he like has that little accent that's like.
That's your man.
This is her
right?
husband, yeah,
this is
playing
my husband.
Shin Kawasaki with the Flying Platforms. This might be his own track. But. So check him out on Twitter at Shin Kawasaki or on SoundCloud. And check out the Flying Platforms. Go like their page on Facebook.
Where'd you come up
Keiko
with
is
that
actually
name?
co-writes some of the music.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah,
A couple,
You
yeah.
were credited on there with a couple of songs. Yeah.
Where'd you get the name The Flying Platforms?
Yeah, where'd you get that?
Sorry,
You know,
jumped in on you.
oh no, that's okay. That's
your
from
Go ahead.
Good job.
Not really.
That was from Akira. You know the Japanese animated
Akira, yeah.
Akira.
Uh-huh.
That's one of the things that they say is the flying platforms.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So he and then we looked it up online, and there is such a thing as a flying platform. I think it was a military invention, but it's a guy on a disc that looks like
It's like flung or something.
Well, it's old school. I think it's in the 50s or something. But he's standing on it, and it sort of hovers a little bit.
Wow.
About but I guess it just wasn't practical. Maybe it wasn't militarily
Gotcha.
Allow me
too
to get over
easy to
crowds.
just shoot you down.
But that's great. It's because it sounds like the stuff that I did hear from him sounds like some of it. It really does span the range of music. Like there was some drum and bass stuff. There were like some techno beats. That there's a nice pop song. The I Suck at Math one was a very funny song. Like, I don't know if it's specifically supposed to be like a Lonely Island funny, but it's poppy and it's very funny. Yeah. there it is. The beginning.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah, right? I was very pleased. I have an opportunity to listen to a lot of musicians, and that...
Yes, I was a clever kid. I don't remember how I did.
So yeah, give him...
I like it.
Shout out to Shin Kawasaki.
Yeah.
And that song actually is was for a friend of mine who has a company called Black Lava, and it's an Asian American t-shirt company. But he's involved with Asian American issues and things, and it's been around for 20 years. And for his 20th year anniversary, all of the members of the community put together a big gala for him, and so people created artwork, visual artists all created artwork, and the musicians that he knew all created songs. So there were 4 songs, original songs based off of shirts. So some of the shirts, the Asian American shirts are, we'll just say, I suck at math. Or
I need one of those.
Yeah. And I can't remember some of the other ones off the top of my head, but that was Shin's contribution, my husband's contribution, because we're good friends with him.
Oh, wonderful.
And he made that just for the 20th anniversary.
Well, excellent. Like I said, some of that stuff I really enjoyed, so I highly recommend it. People check that out.
Thanks.
Flying platforms. Are there any flying platform performances in the works?
We don't have one coming up yet. We should get on that.
Yeah, totally.
Mental note.
Most definitely. Is that you on the Facebook page? Are you in a blue wig?
Yeah, that's me and my friend Tracy.
Okay.
Oh, actually, I should say that Flying Platforms actually does perform with Midtones, which is the first Wednesday night. More casually, not performance with the wigs and everything, but the first Wednesday night of the month at Grand Star.
Okay.
So if you go there, Grand Star, which is in Chinatown, 9:30 on, it's a musical jam session. My husband hosts it. So if you play a musical instrument, we've had theremins there as far as strange things.
Oh wow, that's funny.
We have all your regular music set up, but we've anything, and we've had all different type of vocalists. And if you play jazz or anything else, just come on down.
Oh, I love jazz.
Yeah.
When I was actually when I was younger and my hands still worked a bit, I played the saxophone for about 9 years.
Oh.
I was actually in a marching band, which is kind of weird for a disabled person to say, but when I was younger, I could actually walk for a few miles without any issues or problems. So I was in an award-winning marching band in San Diego.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, that was our stupid little thing we were proud of. Every year, the first competitive parade for high schools apparently is the Columbus Day Parade. Wow. And we won that thing like 7-8 years in a row or something.
You were the people. You had the mark on your back. You were
exactly.
like, oh, those guys.
We had the funky. We were the Patrick Henry Patriots, so we all wore like Minutemen hats, and we had like the stockings and everything. It was very embarrassing. It was
you didn't get laid?
No, not at all. Not at all in high school at all. It was just me and the sax.
But I don't understand. Don't the band people kind of hook up with each other though?
Yeah, but it's still the same kind of cliquey thing. Like the attractive band people hook up with. We also had a drill team, and that didn't help any of the fat kids' odds at all. Like. Nobody wants to go out with the tuba player or the.
Well, you had me at the Patriot hat. I was kind of like, okay, that's cool. And then stockings, I was like, yeah, no.
No? Should have stuck with the 1F by land, 2F by sea hat.
Although my first sexual encounter
tell us, please. Now it's getting good.
was with a fellow dancer in my ballet class.
Yeah.
And he was wearing pink tights.
Oh, my God.
And I was like, a rare ballet dancing heterosexual. I think he must be mine.
Yeah, answer a question. Was he wearing these tights during?
Oh, during, well,
not on both legs?
Would be
just one leg?
Right. We just ripped him open. Left pink tights and... Sammy was there. Yeah.
Hilarious.
Is that the... Okay, we can't. No, we can't.
Is that his name? What's his social security number?
Really? No, Sammy would be his
Keiko, did you want to share?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask.
Little Sammy.
A random name I just pulled out of a hat. I don't know.
It's not an actual
saying
name.
his schlong. Yeah.
Wow. So you call him Pinky because of the tights, not because of
the tights.
Keiko, did you want to share?
No, I didn't want to. I knew. I was like, wait a minute. What is happening here?
She's all, I was on this flying platform, and it was amazing.
It was hovering.
I was blindfolded.
Hilarious. Well, most recently, Keiko, you were on Shameless.
Yeah.
Right? Taking Frank's kids away from his ass.
Well, someone had to.
Right. Exactly. I love the recaps on that show when the Shameless starts, it's like, where the hell were you last week? This is what happened. Like one of the characters is saying that like directly into the camera, breaking the fourth wall, and then they show some of the previous stuff.
Yeah.
So how did that come about? How did you? That's a wonderful show, by the way.
I thoroughly enjoy that show. I originally came on for just the first episode, or they weren't sure, I guess, but then but it was for the next 3 episodes that for that particular character stayed around. Right. And to be honest with you, I haven't seen them.
Really?
I had them.
Oh, the episodes?
I haven't seen the episodes. I saw a piece of the first one that I was in, but I still have to. I have to pick them up. I don't have Showtime because of what we said.
Exactly.
So I have someone who does my taping for me, and I just haven't gone. Maybe at some point I should go.
Somebody who rounds up all the stuff you like to watch on TV. That's amazing. How'd you get that job? Like, hey, you.
Why can't I have that job? That would be.
You're now my remote control.
Yeah.
It's hard to watch yourself on TV though. Sometimes, isn't it? I mean, because all you do end up doing is criticizing yourself. Like, oh, why did I do that? Oh, why is my?
Do you watch yourself though?
I do sometimes, and then I after a while, I'm be like, okay, I just need to not.
Just to sort of get a sense of where you think you're at. Is that why?
Yeah.
I understand that. Like, I'll watch 2 or 3 podcasts of mine in a row, and then I won't watch them for 3 or 4 weeks, and then I'm like, okay, I got to make sure I'm not making stupid faces or doing something I shouldn't be doing into the camera.
90% of the time he's watching his own podcast, though, he's just laughing at himself.
I don't know.
The truth.
I don't know if you've noticed. I'm hilarious. So.
Are you wearing some pink tights while you're doing it?
No, but I will from now on.
Okay.
Actually,
let's tweet some.
Yeah, well, you can't see at home.
Exactly.
Those tutus we were talking about.
Exactly.
Right here.
Plan on tweeting everybody later, making them crash their car. Oh, look, Anthony. Oh, Jesus. Tights, that guy. So what's Sharkbite about? I tried to find out the new pilot that you're involved in. That was there was a showing in LA here recently.
Yeah, there was one. They just did it at IO, which is Improv Olympic. Mm-hmm. I don't know what's happening with it. I think that they're trying to get it sold to, and I think they were talking to Comedy or Cartoon Network. Oh, okay. I think because
is it an animation? Is that what?
Well, it's live, but it has puppets also. So I can't remember exactly. Right. I mean, I'm a performer on it more than a producer or anything like that. So I don't know what they're doing with it. But it's such an amazing thing, and I swear to God, the week that we spent, we're such dorks, but the week that we spent, the 4 of us, the main 4 puppeteers, was such fun, and we're so addicted to it and each other that we created a puppetry group called Unstrung Heroes, which we're just getting off the ground, but it's just basically us because we can't stop doing puppetry. That we're starting to make.
It's an addiction.
It's kind of an addiction. We're gonna do some. They did some puppetry we filmed a little bit on a boat because somebody has a boat, and we're gonna go on a Cessna we're gonna film in a Cessna on Sunday.
Because puppets in the air are hilarious.
Puppets in the air are hilarious.
What kind of puppets are they? Are they hand puppets or like marionette type puppets? Or?
Mostly they're hand puppets. Although we just did a. For Claire Means, she had a music video that they just did that was a bit more like a marionette because it was a voodoo doll. She has a song that's called Voodoo Doll, and so that had to be more of a marionette style that they're going to green screen out, or not green, whatever visual
in
effects
post,
out,
they'll fix it right,
so that the doll will look like it's just dancing on her own. But we're kind of open to anything. And actually, this on the 7th, April 7th, we're going to be performing at the Skirball because the Skirball is going to have an amazing. It's this LA's 2nd annual Puppet Day Festival, and it's going to be all day, and it's going to be kid friendly. So for $10, you can get in there and be entertained, kind of for the whole day.
Well, I certainly hope a Puppet Day would be kid friendly. That'd be kind of this is a 21 and up puppet show only.
Wouldn't that suck?
Well, they did.
What kind of puppets would those be?
The Broadway show, though, right? Wasn't
that's true.
Avenue Q.
Yeah, that wasn't for kids.
No, not at all. It was a great show, though.
But there's Crank Yankers wasn't for kids either.
No,
right?
definitely not at all.
There's something about putting your hand up the area of the puppet and like making it talk, and like suddenly you can say whatever you want because it's not really you. It's the puppet telling you to go.
I'm just being funny. I'm not creepy or vulgar.
Yeah, it's just
Do you know that comedian that maybe this is a style and I'm just not aware of it, but where she put the one I saw was a woman. She put like a puppet. They put like a mask.
I saw that.
Is that on YouTube?
Yeah, she's a ventriloquist.
Ventriloquist. She's a ventriloquist, yes. And she puts a mask on her. She picks 2 audience members out to come up on stage, and then she does their voice, and she makes it move with the little.
I see. It's like a little motorized mouth that people wear.
So she can make them say whatever.
That's
she wants
very
to
funny.
say.
Yeah,
it was funny.
It
right?
was unbelievable. It was like Carol Burnett type.
Yeah,
that's hilarious.
Because you couldn't see the person's face. They had
Right.
this giant mask talking like this.
I've done similar stuff from the stage as a comedian.
Yeah.
Not bringing people up on stage. I've been in rooms before where there'd be people like in the front row not paying attention and talking to each other. There was one time there were these 2 drunk girls talking to each other, and I just got on stage. I was just doing both their voices and Vulcan. It took them literally 10 minutes to notice that I was. Everybody's laughing at them. You know what I mean? I was saying things like, "So what'd you do last night?" I'd be like, "I went out with 9 dudes," and then I just got crazy and elaborate. And then they were doing huge hand gestures that were working with the stuff I was saying. It was just amazing. Then finally they're like, "Wait a minute, everybody's laughing at us," and
we don't know what.
And I just told them, "I'm like, that's what you get. That's what you get for talking so intently that you
in the front,
in the front row." But it was a good time. So I can imagine how having a couple of volunteers come on and then like prep them.
Yeah, it was good. And you're like she would keep shrugging and like laughing.
Yeah, because she couldn't help herself. The girl couldn't help herself.
Like, I love to shrug. You know.
Yeah. I love to shrug. Yeah.
So
hilarious.
cute.
You guys are quoting it. What's it called? I want to see it now. What's
I know,
it on YouTube?
I don't know what it's called.
You like
I don't know. Weird puppet.
Ventriloquism.
Yeah.
Ventriloquist.
This will make you laugh.
We do have a Twitter question, and we're running a little out of time. Do you want to get to that one?
Yeah, let's get to the one.
Just getting into a roll.
I know.
Oh, just real quick.
No, we need to have to answer. It's going to be for you, Anthony.
Where is it?
Oh, are you doing the tweet intro for the
I'm
one
trying.
Twitter question? Hilarious.
But it's not playing.
Tweet.
Yeah.
Okay, let's try it again. There we go.
There we go. Oh, it's a whole dance.
Yeah, apparently. We're doing that now.
I'm so glad you did that.
Thank you. Me too.
Completely.
Okay,
Worth
Maya
it.
wants to know, Cady, when is your book coming out? And will you tell us a little bit about it?
Oh,
See, it's a good question.
Thank you so much for asking. I'm so excited about
You
this
completed
book.
that like a few weeks ago, right? I remember you tweeting or something like, it's done.
I finished the main, hard work of I guess it was the 3rd draft of the manuscript. I wrote it. The first draft was in 3rd person. Then my agent asked me to rewrite the whole thing because it's a true story. It's a story of my upbringing. I was a child actor in L.A. and had an alcoholic dad. He was a blackout drunk, and a mom who didn't have the confidence to take care of herself. So they basically put me to work, and I
made you a young adult.
Took care of the family.
I understand. Yeah.
So it was a very unusual childhood, to say the least. And then she died when I was 25, and he left us. It was very violent, very dramatic. They had a divorce and very intense. And it's
so is this an autobiographical book, or is it just based on?
It is my story. It is absolutely 100% true. It's a memoir, and it's taken me a really long time I feel like I'm sort of coming out. Do you know what I mean?
Most definitely.
It's
a lot to share.
I should call it like...
Let alone write a book about it.
I know. Like, it should be called, it's amazing I'm not a gutter drunk or a heroin addict. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, that's what it should be called. Like, hey, I'm alive. I can't believe it. And I'm not completely fucked up.
Right.
And but I also realized in writing it that... there are a lot of other people who've had alcoholism in their family or some sort of crazy dysfunction, and that there's a lot of shame around that. So I realized that maybe I'm doing a good thing by sharing,
Most definitely.
sharing all my story, and it does get into getting into all my children and a little bit of that sort of
wonderful
world of the soap and what that was like.
So it's not just specifically about your childhood; it's also about
It's really about my
life.
kind of coming of age,
Wonderful.
childhood throughout my teens and then into my young adulthood and sort of, waha, you're an adult now, ha ha ha.
Girl, this is not much different from when I was 12.
Like, yeah, exactly. That's what you got to work with. You know what I mean? Good luck to you, kid.
Right.
So, but all my sort of insights about all that and so I'm now just in the final stages of, this writing is so much work. You have to go back in and go back in and go back in and rewrite But I have wonderful agents, and they're ready to submit, and I have wonderful people that I'm submitting to, and people who are, I think interested in reading it. People have said it makes them laugh. That's my favorite part, is like laughing in the darkest of moments. It keeps you.
It's healing.
It is, and
so when is that slate? I mean, ideally, when?
Ideally, I'd love to get it out by the end of the year for sure. That's I think I'm going to turn it in.
Does it have a title, or is it just a working?
I've been calling it "Murdering My Youth," but some people seem to
that
feel
might be a little.
That's a little heavy. You shall grow up now.
Taking a hit out on a child that is me.
Exactly. I think I'll call it that.
Nice.
That's
I want credit. Just a little.
Hilarious. Hilarious. Yeah.
Do we have to wrap it up? All right, we got to get wrapping it up here. Before we go, real quickly, though, I want to thank both Keiko and Cady for coming in and talking with us. Hopefully this isn't the last time we have them on the show. Real quick, though, Keiko, let everybody know where they can reach out and shout you a holler.
Well, definitely come see Ham Radio, which is my improv team that is at Improv Olympic West on Monday nights, 10:30 p.m. We have a show there at the Loft.
Perfect.
Yeah.
And on Twitter, you are?
Keiko Wagena, or find me on Facebook.
Yeah, the flying platforms. And then, Cady, where can they reach you?
I'm at Real Cady McLean on Twitter, and just facebook.com/Cady McLean, or you can go to my blog, CadyMcLean.com.
Perfect. And, of course, Rolling with Ramos is at Love Your Butts, LUVYERBUTTS. This has been Rolling with Ramos. I'm your host, Anthony. Thank you to Sarah Watts for tweeting in with us. Love you a bunch. I'll see you guys next time. Love your butts.
Police pull right behind where we sitting low. Windows down, gotta stop pollution. City change boys like who is that producing? Just the plan skills when we out and cruising. Got warrants in every city except Houston, but I still ain't losing. See me roll.